بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد النبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ثم أما بعد. سبحان صاحب العلم المطلق. ما زلنا مع الاي بي فيرجن 6 ومع الاي بي فيرجن 6 redistribution. How we do redistribution regarding the IB version 6. ربما السيشن دي تبقى طويلة شوية لأن طبعا معانا أكتر من بروتوكول هنعمل عليه redistribute. عندي ما بين RX1 و RX2 RX3 و RX4 we have the tunnel 0 وده هنشغل عليه BGP autonomous system 1000. معانا هنا ospf ما بين RX1 وسويتش 62. معانا rib ما بين RX2 والسويتش اللي تحت. معانا EIGRB ما بين RX3 وراوتر 61. معانا IS ما بين RX4 وسويتش X4. فخلينا نبدأ. أول حاجة هنبيلد البي جي بي relationship مع الناس اللي موجودة على التانل. الهب هيبقى الراوت ريفلكتور بحيث السبوك 1 هيبير مع الهب، سبوك 2 هيبير مع الهب، 4 هيبير مع الهب. So let's do it. RX1 enable conf t. نحط الكوماند على الأول. enable conf t router BGP 1000 and BGP router ID. هنخلي الراوتر ID يبتدي ب10 1 هنخليه 6.1.1 2 3 4. RX1 خلينا نخلي actually I don't know why I get out here. Okay. Let's do a new method here. هنخلي RX1 يستقبل الريليشن من السبوكس dynamically. يعني مش محتاج احدد له neighbor RX2 RX3 RX4. هقول له الأول neighbor. I think the command is range neighbor let's convert. Let's create a peer group. Neighbor IPGB remote AS 1000. Yeah. First neighbor IPGB peer group neighbor IPGB autonomous system 1000 and neighbor as I remember. Do we have range here? Let me remember the command. Okay, it seems that this version of router iOS doesn't have the BGP listen range. So let's check here. router BGP 1000, sorry, BGP listen range. The only option here is IP version 4. That's why when I checked with the Cisco website, the BGP IPv6 dynamic neighbor relationship, it's just supposed to be in the iOS XE 16.3 release. So that's why I downloaded the iOS XE CSR router. So if we can check here between this command on this version and this version, we can see that we have the option for IP version 4 and we have the range for IPv6. So we need to modify our topology here because we need this instead of this. So I will pause the video and come back when I get this ready. Okay, router BGP 1000, BGP router ID 6.1.1 and BGP. Well, let's configure the peer group first. Neighbor IBGP peer group and neighbor IBGP remote AS 1000 and BGP listen range. Now here we need to specify the tunnel interfaces, the end of the tunnels. Do show IPv6 interface brief tunnel 0. So we will mention the first group, the second group, the third group. So we'll match on this on the dynamic range. BGP listen range. So will be like this, colon, and 16-bit, 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 that's 48-bit. Okay? /48. Oh, come on. /48. We need to mention here the peer group, which is the peer group IPGP. The next step, we need to activate the IPv6 for BGP because by default it's disabled, not activated. So I'll say address family IPv6 unicast and then neighbor IPGP peer group. And then I think there is an activate or something else. Then okay, we will reset it manually there. And then we need to say neighbor IPGP me as a RX1. I am a route reflector client for these peer groups. Okay then, and WR. And then we need to clear the process. So I will say clear BGP IPv6 unicast star. So that's the command, and show the to verify show BGP IPv6 unicast summary. So right now the BGP peer group IPGP listen range group members and the range we mentioned. هنروح على RX2 هنا ونبتدي بقى ايه نكونفيجر راوتر BGP 1000 ونبتدي نقول BGP router ID 6.1.1.2 and then neighbor we need to specify the hub IPv6 address of the tunnel. We can have it from here. Do show run interface tunnel 0, which is this one here. I can say neighbor the hub IPv6 route, or sorry, IPv6 address, and in the remote AS 1000, the modern step you have to activate also here. You activate the IPv6 address family. So say address family IPv6 unicast, and then we activate the neighbor. Activate. Now we should have a relationship, a BGP relationship. So let's check here. Yeah, we have it. So here, the neighbor 2 is just came up dynamically. I didn't configure anything regarding RX2 or RX3 or RX4. It should be happening dynamically. So let's just do show run section BGP. I think I'm going to do this on all of them beside no BGP router ID. Let me see that. Copy. RX3 the relationship be happen dynamically. So we'll do 4 again. Conf T. Now we have 3, we have 2, and we should have 4 by now. Let's see the table. Show BGP IPv6. Here we go. Unicast summary. As we can see here, this is the RX2, this is RX3, this is RX4. Okay, this is happened dynamically. Okay, regarding our configuration of IPv6 inside the BGP. So this is the first part. We configured the tunnel part, the tunnel interface. Let's just come back here. The tunnel interface. Okay, let's cover this up. Here, here, here. Here we have a BGP. Okay. Now, everyone should redistribute its route into the BGP. So right now we have the hub talking to switch 62 ospf version 3, and RX2 talk to the switch below rep next generation, and RX3 talk to the switch 61 with EIGRB, and RX4 talks to the switch X4 with ISIS. So all of them need special configuration. Not much, just only the rep and the EIGRB. You have to specify the metric. So let's start with the ospf. RX1 here. We need to advertise the ospf or redistribute the ospf into the BGP. But before doing this, what IPv6 route that this router knows? There is a loop back here. Let's just verify it before we do the distribution. Do show IPv6. Show IPv6 route. OSPF. No do. Come on. FC0062, just referring to switch 62 here. Okay. So we need to redistribute this particular route into the BGP. But we have to mention that when we redistribute, that this interface, the IPv6 of this network, will be redistributed to into the BGP. But I only care about this one here. Okay, let's just do it. You can do filter, FT. Let's go to the router BGP 1000, and I think address family IPv6 unicast, and we can say redistribute ospf 1, and we can just, there is a route map referring to some specific routes, blah blah blah. But we'll do it generally. So if we can say this, show IPv6, show BGP unicast. Now we can see that the route that's being redistributed, it's inside the BGP table now. It's being injected to the BGP table now. So the BGP should, this one should send it to RX2, RX3, RX4. So let's check RX2, RX3, RX4. So this is RX2. Do show BGP IPv6 unicast, just unicast. Now we have the route. It's a valid and best route. So we can say do show IPv6 route BGP. Now we have the route that being redistributed. And we should check RX3 as well. We have the route. RX4, we have the route. So here, we need to check, there is a relationship، في relationship هنا ما بين RX2 والسويتش، والراجل ده عامل انجكت للوب باك بتاعته داخل الريب، فالمفروض RX2 يعرفها بالريب. RX2 do show IPv6 route rib. We have the route FC00100, which referring to the switch here. That's learned by rib. Okay, but does the switch knows about this IPv6 network? Absolutely not. تعال نشوف هي ايه الشبكة اصلا. هي كانت 62 FC0062. هل السويتش اللي تحت ده يعرفها؟ No. Switch 100 enable show IPv6 route. طبعا هتيجي بالريب nothing. I know nothing. فمحتاج دلوقتي RX2 يرedistribute الايه؟ الBGP route into the rib. Well, it's simple. Let's go to RX2 and IPv6 what's the web process here? Do show run interface E00. I need to know the process IPv6 router rep Cisco enter. I can say we distribute the BGP 1000. Now you have to specify the metric because the rep is distance vector. You need to specify the metric, otherwise it will be infinity and the router won't accept it at the end. So we distribute BGP and the metric is 1 because rep is just, yeah, considering the hop count as its metric. Enter. Oh, I see. You should say metric here. No. Just let's back to the switch and double check again. Okay, I can't see the route. Why I can't see the route? Maybe we need to wait a little bit. Okay. The thing is I forget to mention something. النقطة دي كان في أحد الامتحانات كان ممكن تكلفك $1600 if you forget to do the command to make the IBGB redistribute to IGB protocol. I don't need to just confuse you. بس خلينا أقول إن الراجل ده وده عبارة عن IBGB، يعني الاتنين في نفس الأوتونوموس سيستم. فالاي بي جي بي هنا هيعمل ريديستريبيوت لاي جي بي بروتوكول، ده ما بيحصلش باي ديفولت. لو هتريديستريبيوت من اي بي جي بي لاي جي بي ده عادي جدا بيحصل وبتعمله مفيش مشكله، لكن من اي بي جي بي لاي جي بي it's not working by default. So that's why على السويتش معرفش كام ده 100 مفيش راوت even though ان RX2 هنا شايف الراوت بتاع البي جي بي do show IPv6 route بي جي بي. احنا شايفين الراوت بتاع 62 اللي جاي من الناحية التانية عند الهب، وعاملين already امر redistribution عند الريب do show run section rep، عاملين الكوماند redistribute بي جي بي 1000 metric 1 but it's not doing any redistribution yet. Why? Because I told you the why. فاحنا محتاجين نخش جوه البي جي بي هنا راوتر بي جي بي 1000 and address family IPv6 unicast, and you can say here redistribute internal, I think BGP redistribute internal, BGP redistribute internal. This command will do the magic for us. So by now RX2 will do the distribution and the switch will receive the route. Wow, we have it. Okay, that's BGB into rep. BGB into rep. Well, then you need to do the opposite. You have to advertise the loopback of the switch here that is being received on RX2 into the BGB. So on RX2 here, what do we know by rep? Do show IPv6 route rep. محتاجين نعلن عن FC00 100:64. So we will do this under our same position, address family IPv6 inside the BGB redistribute rep and Cisco, the process number, and you can just specify a metric or something. Let's do it granularly. Let's check here RX1 on the hub. Do we have the route? Do show IPv6 route BGB. I have it. Look at this. I have it. Who gave it to me? RX2. So that's the redistribution from BGB to rep into rep and rep into BGB. Okay, so let's do here the احنا عملنا ospf into BGB، نعمل BGB into ospf. So in RX1 do show run طبعا لان RX1 مش هيدي الشبكة للسويتش اللي تحت. enable show IPv6 route ospf. I don't have 100 FC100. I don't have it. Okay, So let's go through the X1 and FT router IPv6 router ospf 1 necessarily distribute BGP 1000. Let's check switch 62 here. We forget to do the magic here. Let's go to the router, because this is the same thing. I received the update from IBGP neighbor. We need to say router BGP 1000 and address family IPv6 unicast and BGP redistribute internal. So by now we should receive the route. Yes, we have it as a OSPF type 2 route. So FC00100. That's the IP, the loopback from this switch, working with RIP and redistributed into BGP, redistributed into OSPF. So we'll close now, continue later with EIGRP and BGP, and vice versa.